tears. And to talk about leadership, take it from an old retired soldier. You embody the qualities of a natural leader with leadership talent and steadfast commitment that every team needs, especially his team. It would be a blessing if more young people made an effort to lead from the front and be the example as you have been. God bless you and keep you. Much love. Your God uncle who still worries about you and hopes one day you will take him up on the carry and conceal. So then, I don't know what this is going to say, but this one is another one for you. Texas.
Well, Suggs, this is what you mean to me. I have always been a firm believer that each and every person that God places in our lives has a specific assignment and are there for that purpose. He gives us the good and bad, both to help shape who He has created us to be, because He's just that kind of God. But aside from giving us the good and bad, He also designates special people with special assignments in our lives. People who are always one prayer away. People who know our bad but see our good. People who will stand when no one else will, and people who motivate and encourage you with no hesitation. Well, today I thank you for being that person. You are beyond a blessing in my life, and I am so lucky that I have the privilege to call you friend and know that it's so much more than just a word. Thank you so much for being you. Love you much. James.
That's James, all the way from Texas.
On behalf of gyms, we just want to say, like, we appreciate you so much for all the time and effort that you put into gyms, because people don't want to work with teenagers. That's just the truth, especially teenage girls. So for you to take out your time, you know, you're young too, to guide us and mentor us and to give us advice, just to be able to be a listening ear that we can't be to, like, our mothers sometimes, because, you know, they can't relate to us in our generation. But to have you is such a blessing. And I know on my part, I appreciate you, and I love you so much. And even the wedding, like I tell people all the time, like, I'm gonna be in a wedding this summer, like, yeah, and it's gonna be fun, like, I can't wait to show y'all, you know, just to be a part of that, you know, it's just a blessing in itself, you know, just to know that somebody cares about you on that level, to have you a part of that special moment, you know. So I want to say thank you, and that I love you so much.
Amen. I would wonder why.
I do want to say thank you for taking the time out to start up gyms, and especially like whenever gyms was becoming a corporation and stuff, that was really when you were like, you know, coming out of college and starting to work, and even with all that stress, you still took the time out to make sure that gyms was how you wanted it to be for us. And even now, like money for a community to go to school, you always watch out for us, and I really appreciate that. And we know that we can always turn to you for anything, and you've always been a role model for us, so thank you.
Amen.
I just want to say I love you like my sister, like you're my real sister. I want to say I want to appreciate you for everything you've done for me and doing for gyms to bring all the girls together. I just want to say thank you.
All right, all right.
Tyra. Not Camille, Javi, Jazz, they said a lot. I will say some more. And I just want to say that I'm so thankful for you. And I thank God for you, because Tyra, she's her own independent woman. She's very selfless when it comes to gyms, and she always makes she always she always makes sure that we're in our place. What are your goals for this? What are your goals for that? Oh, you didn't get done with that? Oh, that's your homework then. And I just say that I love you. You are a sister to me, and I look upon you as a mentor. And I just appreciate you so much for what you do to gyms. This is just a blessing.
Amen. Amen. Come on, Miss Kyla.
You just the most nicest person that I've ever known. And then when I got first in gym, I was kind of nervous, and then you kind of like encouraged me and kind of taught me how to do good things, and we joke around and stuff, and you just all that fabulous. What Pastor Brown say, a bag of chips and extra dip, and and I love you, and I thank God for you.
Amen. What a fabulous recommendation. But one thing you said to me on the phone. She said that she will add more to AKA than AKA could ever add to her. So I want the queen, AKA, in this region, Midwest, my classmate, my homeroom buddy, my road dog. Give us a love for Alpha Kappa Alpha, Sarah Francella Jackson.
To Pastor Willie Brown, to everybody here at Faith House. I know I'm supposed to speak about Alpha Kappa Alpha. But first, let me just say, every time I come to Faith House, I leave more blessed than I was when I got here. To see you guys, how you nurture your young people, and you and your gyms organization, we wouldn't have a gang problem if everybody did what Faith House does. We wouldn't have a killing problem. We wouldn't have so much youth violence if everybody did what Faith House does. And I just want to thank you continually for that and what you're doing for young people. And now, on behalf of Alpha Kappa Alpha, and he's right. So many people who are members of Black Greek-led organizations, they join them for what the organization can provide for them. Networking, just things like that. But she was doing all of that before she ever, and I want to make that clear, ever became a member of our sorority. And I did tell him that, because when you're looking at people with high moral and ethical standards, she already had that. When you're looking for people with high academic and smart, she had that. She had the pretty girl thing already. All of that. And I cannot, and I must say this, and don't want to be long-winded, but I've only sponsored one person in my entire life in this 300,000+ member organization. I've only written a letter for 3 people. So that tells you I don't take that for granted. Some people don't belong in your organization. Your family, your friends, they don't belong there. You know it. But it was easy and a pleasure to welcome you and to provide whatever you need. And on behalf of our regional director and myself, you are a leader in Alpha Kappa Alpha.
Do that. I did see that Kanita did write me back. And she says, Tyra, thank you for the role you play in all of our lives. Thank you for using your talents to spread the word and love of God to so many. Your servant leadership does not go unnoticed. I appreciate you for being an inspiration to me and all the young people you advise, encourage, and mentor. I am both proud and thankful to be your best friend. Congratulations on your big day. I love you, your sister, Kanita. And so I thought, I could just do it off the cuff. I'm like, no, it's too big to do off the cuff. So I took the time to really pray about what I wanted to say. And in doing so, I thought, seriously, I said, Lord, if I woke up this morning and found that she was no longer with us, how would I make it? Because so many times it's only when a person is gone that we think of all these things that we should have told them. And so I just want to take a few minutes and just tell her what I think. My tribute to my baby Tyra. Honestly, to the world's greatest daughter. I remember the day I found out I was pregnant with you. I rushed to the high school to tell your dad and Mario, then to your grandpa's house to share the great news with him and your uncles. See, your grandmother had already gone to be with God. Imagine the day we all found out you were a girl. Everybody was excited and anxiously awaiting your arrival. Then you came into this world just as pretty as can be, with a head full of hair and eyes as bright as stars. The nurse said, she came in with an attitude, and I said, she was right. From that day forward, you began to run our world. As a toddler, we discovered you would do everything quickly without a second thought. You threw your bottle out the window, walked at 9 months, hardly ever crawled, talking way too soon and singing at 2. Your childhood was filled with dreams and the actions to make it happen. I could hardly keep up, from writing children's skits, organizing friendship clubs, Destiny's Child 2, and the second Black Cinderella after Brandy. In your eyes, there was nothing impossible. Junior high and high school had its challenges because of petty girl jealousies and unworthy athletes coming your way. But we weathered that storm too. During this era, you still managed to be an honor student, participating in basketball, cheerleading, choir, speech, the Black Rep, of course, WDB Theatrical Touring Company, but always making time for God and the purpose He had for your life. It was during this time He showed you Jackson State University. At JSU, acing your way to a BS in criminal justice pre-law, what an awesome experience it was to see you conquer the challenges of the Black and Gold pageant, Miss Jackson State, Miss Capital City Classic, Student Justice, Mad Drama, and many others, but still graduated magna cum laude. In 2013, you entered the real world and earned a dual master's, landed several positions, and now representing the St. Louis Cardinals as you prepare to enter the greatest challenge of your life as a wife and someday soon as a mother. Finally, this process of parenting was as much about growth for me. This process of parenting is as much about my growth and maturity as it was yours. I've learned what's really important, and I see the divine plan. I pray that I have shared all the gems shared by my mother and grandmother, which says a mom gives, cares, nurtures, soothes, cheerleads, corrects, directs, and teaches. During this awesome journey, somewhere down the road, I found that what I felt like a timeout from the pursuit of my personal agenda has in truth been the greatest investment into my personal development. I thank God for giving me the gift of you. You are the complete package of Christ, brains, and beauty. You are truly the wind beneath my right wing.
Amen. 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 My Lord. Her baby.